So I'm going to start recording. Hello everyone, happy Tuesday. It's a happy Tuesday. It's a hot Tuesday. I do stream live on Ustream TV every Tuesday Eastern Time at 2 o'clock Eastern Time, 2 o'clock in the afternoon Eastern Time. And I do put the recordings on YouTube so that those people that can't come to the live recording can see what happened. So, and they can watch over and over and over again so that if I'm showing something, they can see it. Shelly Crafting Mamas. She also streams on, she streams on YouTube. And Shelly streams on Tuesdays and Fridays. I believe it's Fridays because it's a day that I can't get there. She streams in the evenings. I want to say, Shelly, remind me what time you stream. She does a lot of good stuff. Junk journals and flowish books and all kinds of fun stuff. So if you like the live streams, if you like the long videos to work along with, Shelly is one of those people that you would love to have working with you. And she says Tuesdays and Fridays at 9 p.m. EDT. And I don't know what EDT is. What's EDT? What's E? It's not Eastern. Is it Eastern? Eastern Daylight Time? Eastern Daylight Time. So Shelly is Crafting Mamas, 9 p.m. on Tuesdays and Fridays on YouTube if you want to catch her live. And then she does have a lot of her recordings there that you can just watch. Eastern Daylight Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. So, Crafting Mamas on YouTube. Go find her. Go art with her. So she wanted me to show Meander books one more time. I've got a couple of videos showing Meander books, but we thought we need to go through them one more time. And I do have quite a few of them that I have done in the past and recently, lots and lots of different sizes. These, let me show the ones that I did some years back. These are probably 10 years old, probably somewhere around there, maybe even a little older. This one is not square. These books do not have to be square. A Meander book, in case you don't know what a Meander book is, a Meander book is this weird kind of adventure in a book. You never know where the next page is going to open up, and I get confused, and they're really hard to show because they don't open like normal books. They open in different ways and different pages pop up and there's different things on both sides. And this one I did from a poster board. I think I cut off some of the poster board. I don't think it's the whole poster board. And it is about 4¼ inches square. And I did it with newspaper pictures and print. So all the pages, I had a Arabic newspaper at one point that I used in here, obviously. So the pages are done with the newspaper pictures and words that I collected, phrases that I collected from newspapers, and I just kind of collaged them together in weird ways. This is one of my favorite ones. Well, I've got a couple favorite ones, but there's no right way up because they do open in weird ways. So if I were to go from the front and try to figure out how to go through this book, you see this one opens up this way, and then this one opens up this way, and then the next page opens up that way, and then opens that way, and then this way. So you never know. And then you're missing pages too, because you could be going through 3 pages when you really wanted to only go through 1. And then so it just goes all over the place. And I've got the pictures all kittywampus, and they're not in the right direction so that you can turn the book around and see different stuff. And then it goes through. I had a Japanese or a Chinese, I'm not even sure which language that is. And then you get to the end, and then the back side is different pages altogether. Like I said, yeah. So you can miss stuff, and you'll never know if you miss it all. You'd have to open up the whole book. So this is what I call a meander book. So you're meandering through. It's kind of an adventure. You never know what you're going to find. And I put some strange stuff on my pages because that's what I do. So this one, and it's probably too big to put out there. Can I kind of put it out there? It is the 4 1/4, so it's about 17 inches square piece of poster board that I cut. And I cut this one from the center. So this is the covers right here in the center of it. And then it meanders a different way. You know, we're going to do a different one this time, a little bit more easy to cut. But that's the way this one is cut. So, and it is well trained to go back the way it gone. So that's one of them. This one is also one that I did a long time ago. I did this with black and white magazine pictures. This is not square. This one is 5 inches by 4 1/4. Again, it is a poster board back, and I did add a ton of words to this one with really strange pictures that I found in magazines. And again, I did not, hi Linda, did not put anything right side up. The words are all different upside down, and so that you can twist the book around and I had to block some of them. There was some naked tushy contest pictures and some other stuff. And, you know, Ustream doesn't like that, so I had to block some of them. But this one is just some interesting little pictures that I came across with some words that I thought were different. That's the tushy contest. Had to block the tushies. We can't see tushies. But I added a bunch of words from newspapers. They can be from newspapers or whatever. And this one's a little bit bigger. It goes on and on and on. Look at that one. Really found some interesting pictures. And I love this one. I love the hot air, the balloon in the parade. I love that. Anyway, so this one is not square, and again, it is poster board. And how did I cut this one? This one I kind of cut it from the center again. Kind of, but kind of not. So it's huge. It's huge. These are the covers, and you can see that the ends are in the center of the board. And that makes it so that it's not so predictable about where the book is going to open, the next page is going to open up to. So that is that one. Of course, it does have stuff here. Let's see if I can flip it over. It does have stuff on both sides. So it really does add a bunch. Anyway, so those are my bigger ones. These I did at least 10 years ago, maybe even longer. So I also have done this in the smaller size, and this one isn't decorated yet. This one is just a piece of scrapbook paper. Let's see if I can get it out there. After a while, they're so trained to be folded that they don't want to become unfolded again. So here it's just a piece of scrapbook paper that I used acrylic paint and stenciling and stamps. And what size is the poster board? You know, I don't know what size poster boards come in. And I don't have one handy to measure. I don't know what size they are. They're pretty big though. I get them at the Dollar Tree a lot. You can get 2 for 50 cents in black and in white. And that's where I normally go. You can find them at Walmart or any place, poster board. They're fairly cheap. I like them because they're cardstock and they're sturdy. So that's all this one is here. This one is just painted. It's probably 65-pound cardstock that I folded up into the Meander book. We're going to do 1 or 2 today with scrapbook paper, but it's just the same thing. This one does not have covers on it, but it does open up in weird ways. You never know where the next page is going to open. So, but it's more simple to actually cut this type, and that's what we're going to try to do. All right, so that is the 3-inch square one, and I have one. Where is it? I had it earlier. I had it earlier. Did I put it somewhere so I wouldn't lose it? And here it is, right here. All right. Here's another one from a piece of scrapbook paper, 12 by 12 scrapbook paper. And I'm going to put it out there so you can see it. It is a piece of just 12 by 12 scrapbook paper. This is 4 inches square, and this one does have some covers on it. On both sides, I put a little piece of cover. Yeah, you'd have to do the math. I don't know how big it's pretty big. 20 by 24, that sounds about right. So this one is really a simple one. Doesn't have as many pages because the pages are larger, but again, it does flip and open in different ways. So it's kind of fun to do that kind of thing. And you can decorate these. I'm kind of thinking that maybe I will leave this one just as is because it's kind of a cool little painting one. But you can add, and I thought that one was that one. This one I did in a stream before, and it is called Meander Books. And I did a lot of collaging on top of the scrapbook paper. That's upside down. It makes it very hard to score and fold the pages. So I'm going to show a really basic way just to make the book, and then you can decorate it in any style that you want to decorate it in. This one has some little magazine pictures, some stamping, some words, a lot of gesso, and that it's not finished yet. I still need to finish this one up. But that's all it is I had a base with newspaper and stuff. I made the book, and then I started adding these pictures on top and words on top. So So these kind of books would be, excuse me, I'm going to need, my voice is going. I'm going to need some water. I don't know why my voice is going, but it really is. Excuse me. Let's see if I can stop doing that. So you can decorate these with, this is my own photograph. I did print it on regular typing paper, copy paper. But you can use regular photographs and put in there, come on, focus. Here we go. You can use regular photographs, you can use book pages, you can use magazine pages. I did one like this with family photos, which was really kind of cool. Some old time photos, and I put their names underneath. I no longer have that one, so I can't show it. But you can use this for Zen doodling. If you made a base book and then Zen doodled on like a piece of paper and glued it on, you could have a little Zen doodling catalog or sample or whatever you want to call it. But that's all it is it's just a weird fiddle book. I love, Shelley had somebody on her live stream talking about fiddle books, and I love books that open up and have pockets and you fiddle with. I love that term for them, fiddle books. I love to fiddle with books, so and the more interesting the better. So anyway, so that is just a few. This one's just a plain base, and that's what we're going to do today with the covers on it. Here's one that was stamped with different stamps that I no longer have. This one is also, let me get these out of the way. This one is also a piece of scrapbook paper, but I folded this one in such a way that it's got little hidden flaps in it. It's a little more confusing. It's a little bit more difficult to do. Let's see if I can get to one of those. Yeah, so this one, it has a flap here, but it's a dead end. It's not connected to anything. So you have to put it back so that you can find the real page. Yeah, and it just kind of goes on and on and on. So this one has like 2 or 3 dead ends in it, and it is really a hard pattern to follow, and it's a hard pattern to cut. So they don't necessarily all have to be the same pattern that I'm going to show today. You can cut them in different styles and different ways. So this one starts here in the center and kind of goes around, and then it has these 2 or 3 offcuts, I guess is what you want to call them. Offcuts. They're little secret pages that you come across, and it really confuses you. So there's not just one way to cut these. There's probably a million different ways to cut them, but they do need to be attached in some way. And I was thinking you could probably do squares of paper and attach them in interesting ways with washi tape or something similar to that, a little stronger, maybe tape, glued washi tape or something, but it would be fun to do. So anyway, we're going to do the scrapbook page, and I did just kind of decorate this one earlier, just a little bit. I just put some stenciling and some stamping on it. Nothing exciting, just to have a little base to do things with. I got started on this side and didn't get very far. So the first thing you want to do is you want to measure your paper, and you want to make sure that you have a square piece of paper. It doesn't really have to be, but it's easier on your first try if you've got a square piece of paper. So I'm making sure that this corner is 12 inches. These corners are 12 inches. This corner, 12 inches from corner to corner. Hey, Aunt Sandra. Hi. And then this one also is 12 inches corner to corner. It just helps to, when you're scoring your book, to make sure that you're going to have the same size pages all the way through, so that you don't have, a quarter short on one end, which can really be frustrating when you get to going. So I have got a bone folder. I am going to be using a rotary cutter to cut my pages, but you can use scissors, you can use X-Acto knife, you can use a paper trimmer if you know how to use them, whatever you're comfortable with. So let's do the 4-inch one first, and of course I've only got the 3-inch ruler that's small enough for this table, because my other one is 36 inches long, and I would be really messing myself up trying to use that one here. So I am going to mark, how am I going to do this? I'm going to put a little mark for 4 inches right there. I'm going to use pencil so I can erase it. And then I am going to make another mark 4 inches. And then I am going to measure this last one just to make sure I have got 4 inches right there. And I do. So I'm going to do that on all 4 sides. So excuse me really fast while I mark off my 4 inches. And I'm going to measure that last one just to make sure. And you really need to be fairly accurate with this, because the way the book folds in on itself, it can get wonky, and it's not quite so much fun when you've got a wonky book that you're trying to turn the pages and it doesn't really want to turn. So I am doing this pretty quickly, but you want to make sure that you're pretty accurate with your measurements at this point. 4 inches, I'm almost there. 4, and I'm just going to make sure that last one is good, and it is. So I am going to use my bone folder, and I am going to take these marks that I've just made, and I am going to score. I'm lining up the ruler with the first mark I made here, and then the mark that I made down here, and of course my camera's not getting it all. Let's see if I can move my water out of the way so we can see. Here we go. Here we go. All right. So I'm going to put my ruler in this mark up here and this mark down here, and I am going to score that. And what I like to do, just to make sure that I am getting a straight line, is I will bend the paper against my ruler. I like these quilters rulers. That's what I really like. You can use the metal ruler, and I will use the metal ruler as well, so you can see if you don't have a quilter's ruler. But I do like to bend the paper against it just a little bit, because your book is going to be folding different ways. You don't want to train it to fold one way right away. Okay? And then I'm going to take that next line. I have the mark here and the mark here. I'm going to line the ruler up and make a score. Oops. I'm not used to using the metal ruler. And I probably need to be standing over it while I do this. So I'm going to score it first. And then I am going to make a fold against the ruler just so I know that that fold is real straight. And then you kind of got something like this. Okay? It's not, we're not gonna train it to go that direction quite yet, but we're able to see them. Okay? And then we're gonna turn the paper and do that same thing with the marks that we made on the other side of the paper. Let's see here. That's right there and right there. I'm going to score it. And then I'm going to make a little fold so I can see those lines just a little bit better. And then the last one for the 4-inch book. I guess I should have used this for measuring. I could have done a little tick at 4 and 8 inches. It probably would have saved me a whole lot of time if I had thought about it. I never use this metal ruler for anything but, I don't know what, just measuring, I guess. But that would have been easier to use the ruler and just make a little mark at 4 and 8 on all the sides and then done this. And I didn't do the fold on that one, so I'm going to put the ruler back and fold it up just a little bit. So now we've got this 9-patch kind of thing going on. We've got 9 squares in our book, on our paper. Okay? Now then I'm going to get my little mini rotary mat and my mini rotary cutter out here. And I am going to use my quilting ruler. To use the rotary cutter with. I use a rotary cutter because I used to be a quilter. I'm used to the rotary cutter. A lot of people are not. They are fairly dangerous, so I don't usually do this on my streams. I usually take it to my area where I can really get over it and all that stuff. Hi, Tear Bear. Hi, Judy. So I'm going to try to get up here over this and try not to scream into the microphone while I'm here. I would suggest using an X-Acto knife and a metal ruler to cut, more so than a rotary cutter, but I like to use my rotary cutter because it makes the lines nice and straight, and it makes the book easier the pages easier to fold and stuff. So what I am doing, so that we can see, is I am cutting the first 2 squares apart here, and then I'm going to cut the 2 squares here. So you've got a Z thing going on, or an N thing. So that's all I'm doing. I am making sure that I don't go past this fold here. You don't want to cut into the next page at all. So I am lining up my ruler with the fold that I made. Let's see if I can get my mat underneath here. Okay, and I line up my ruler with my paper like this so I know I'm exactly where I need to be. And then my blade is all nice and rusty. And then I go up almost, not quite, to that first fold up here. I'm going to take a piece of some scissors. And you can see where I cut almost up there. And just because I'm using a rotary cutter and it's hard to see exactly where I'm cutting, I'm going to take my scissors and cut just to that fold. I'm not going to go over it at all, just like that. Okay? And then I'm going to turn it around. I'm going to do the same thing right here. I'm lining up that score mark that I made. I am going to cut almost to that fold, taking my scissors and cutting just to that fold again, okay? Just like that. So you've got this thing going on. All right. And I'm going to get my stuff out of the way here. We'll do the 3-inch one really quick too. I am recording. I am. So now we've got this page, and we're ready to start folding. So I'm going to start from one of the ends, and I'm going to fold it so that the corners meet the folds I've got in the center. We're going to be, this is hard to do up in the air. I'm usually over it so I can get there, and it doesn't feel like it's exactly right. We're just going to have to pretend that it's right. So I'm going to use my bone folder and fold that. Then I'm going to turn it over, and we're kind of doing an accordion fold, and you want to make sure that your corners are meeting the corner underneath. These two corners need to meet these two corners underneath. So you can see, yeah, I'm off somehow. It must have been me going crazy with the way I measured, but my page is too long. I'm just going to keep going, and then I'm going to crease that one. Yeah, this page is longer than the other one. So much for showing how it's done correctly. Turning my page over again, and then I'm going to go sideways. Just kind of following the natural accordion type way, in and out and in and out. Trying to match up corners as I go. Use the bone folder. Turn it over again and go down. Matching corners. Using the bone folder. Turn it over and down. Once you get going, you kind of see where you need to go for the next page. It makes it a little easier. I'm going to turn it over and use the bone folder on this side, just because I don't have to go through all those layers now. And then fold it that way. I'm going to turn it over and use the bone folder and fold it that way. This one is going to be a little wonky. Turn it over and fold it down on the last one. Of course, it's going to be wonky since I did it on the stream. I'm going to do my bone folder for that last little one there. The pages are not lining up exactly, but they're pretty close. They're going to work. It's going to be okay. Don't get crazy. Mine are usually off a little bit, This one's off quite a bit. You can see that there's quite a lip there, and the pages are not quite right. So it will be all right. Let's see if we can get it focused down here. We still have the main part of the Meander book. It still opens, and you just have to train it that it wants to be folded this way. It doesn't take very much, really. And then you've got your Meander book. That's all there is to it, really. You can put covers on these. I use a pretty thin piece of cardboard, and I make my square or my cover a 1/16 of an inch larger than the square. You don't want it going over very far. This one probably goes over a little bit too much. I would make them just a little bit smaller than that, but not very far. You just want them big enough to go over the edge. This one doesn't even go over the edge. See, the page is longer than the cover is. It happens. It still works. It still works. You can kind of see the edge here, but this is probably perfect right here. And it's going to take some practice to get perfect, so don't worry about it. So, I use just pieces of thin cardboard. I do cover them in paper like this. I've shown how to do this on a couple other streams. And then I would glue the right size, of course, to the book and clamp it down so that it's on there really well. So if you want covers, it's really simple to put the covers on there. I would glue them on and use clamps and clamp them in many different places so I know that the glue is actually catching the paper. And then I let mine dry for overnight at least, sometimes longer than that. And Vicky says, what throws you about the book is how to glue the pictures so that they aren't all upside down. Well, Vicky, they are all upside down. Take a look. They're not. This picture is right side up here. The words are upside down. I have things that are sideways. I've got green fingernails. What was I doing earlier today? Sorry. But you can see these words are exactly opposite each other. This picture does not go the same way. I do not pay any attention to what is up and down with these books. The page would probably turn that way, so I probably should have this up and down, as a page, but I don't. So the page opens up this way, and this picture is oriented this way. This one's oriented this way. The words are all over the place. They are in every direction. No, it does not matter which way. Every which way is good. It does not matter. Here is, this picture is up and down, and this picture is sideways. That's part of the fun of these Meander books, is you never know which way they're supposed to go. If you were to do everything the way the next page opens, then it wouldn't, trying to figure out which page opens, it wouldn't be as fun to me. So this one opens this way. Yeah, I think I have some of them where they are, here's one. This one's upside down. This one's right side up. So yeah, that's the fun of a Meander book for me anyway. Let me get that focused. Focus, there we go. Is there is no right way up. It is an adventure. And then you're twisting the page to look at everything, and you don't know where you've been, and you don't know if this page is where you were before, or if you're going to a new page. And again, they're all over the place. The words are upside down. They're sideways. The pictures are upside down. So, yeah, that's part of the fun of Meander books is there is no right way up. Everything is upside down. Okay, so that is the 4-inch one. Let's do a quick 3-inch one. And I just have a piece of plain paper to do that one with. And I am going to just use, I'm going to do it the right way this time. And use the 12-inch ruler. And I am going to put my 12-inch ruler so that the markings go from 0 to 12. And I am going to put a little mark up in the top. A mark at 3 inches, a mark at 6 inches, and a mark at 9 inches. And the same thing on all 4 sides. Let's see if I can be a little bit more accurate this time. And get the mark right at the end. 3 inches, 6 inches, and 9 inches. And 12 and 0, 3 inches, 6 inches, 9 inches, and the last side. That's what I love Meander books. I know Ms. B.A. Pearl, you are not a big fan, but I love my Meander books. So 3 inches, 6 inches, and 9 inches. All right, so I'm going to use this metallic ruler again. And we've got more lines to score this time. So I'm going to start from this end, and I'm going to line up my 9-inch by my 3-inch down here, or the first mark and the first mark. We're just going to make a square. And I'm going to try to make sure I am right at that mark that I made so it's not just a little bit off. And I'm going to score it. Scoring it helps to fold it better. And I am going to put just a little fold in the paper just so I can see it better. And then I'm going to go to the middle mark. Just like that. And score it. And fold it against the ruler so I know it's folding straight. And then I'm going to go to that last mark. Score it. And fold it. And then I'm going to turn it sideways, and we're going to do the same thing with the marks on those sides. Make sure that they're right on the marks here. Score it and fold it. So you thought you were making your books with pictures upside down. You probably were, because that's the way they work. That's the way mine work anyway. That's the way mine work. So I don't know if I'm doing it wrong, but that's how mine work. So I'm going to score it. And then I'm going to fold it. And then the last one, scoring it. Of course, I'm not on camera. I can't get my camera closer to me. The curtain rod does not want to go anymore that way without it falling down. Oops. Uh-oh. How did I trick you, Judy? How did I trick you? There's a way to do them so all the pictures are up? Huh. I bet if I sat there and tried to figure out how each page was opening up, how do they determine which way is up? The way it's going to fold the next page or the page that it's on? Well, the curtain rod is up there a little bit, but it is. I can't get it pulled out towards me anymore without it falling down. So it's up there, kind of braced, but I want the camera just a little bit this way, and I can't figure out how to get it that way. All right, so I'm going to take those away. And I am going to get my rotary cutter and my quilting ruler out here again. This time with the little 3-inch pages, we want to make an M. It's like you want to cut these 3, and then these 3, and then these 3. Again, you're not going to go to the last one so that everything is connected. All right, so let me stand up again so I can be over it and try to get accurate. I think I've shown on my organizing my new room, I did show my desk and how I've got the camera situated. If you want to see what it looks like, where I work and stuff, you can see that. And my mat is not big enough. This is my little baby mat, my travel mat. It's not big enough, so I'm going to try to cut that last little bit with scissors so it'll be straight. I am lining up my ruler with that first fold, and I am going to fold the paper up against my ruler just to know that I'm on the right fold. And you can do this with an X-Acto knife. You can line up your paper with the metal ruler and then use the knife to cut apart these strips. I like to use a ruler, then I know that my page sides, the ends of the pages are all straight. Sometimes if I try to cut them with scissors, they kind of are they're a little wobbly and wonky. If I use a rotary cutter or an X-Acto knife, they are very straight. So I'm going to go from the edge of the paper on the bottom here to almost, make sure I got that all cut through almost all 3 of the first 3 squares. And I am off. This is part of my problem. I am not on that fold. I've cut it off the fold. Can you see that? Not really, not with this color. You can see my fold, and you can see where I've been cutting. It's not exactly on the fold. I must have moved it while I was talking. So I am going to use my scissors and cut the rest of that page up into that first fold right there. Okay? That's where you want to go. You don't want to go past that. And I've got a little nick in my book now. You want to be more accurate than that. Okay, so this is the first cut. I am going to do this cut on the end. Again, I'm going all the way from the end through 3 squares. And I am going to line up my ruler with that fold, and hopefully it's on the fold this time. Opening up my ruler or my cutter, and I am going to go along that fold. And my problem right now, sorry, I don't mean to scream into the mic, is I am not entirely over it. I use my weight to hold the ruler down and to keep it steady while I'm cutting. And right now, with the camera in my way, I am kind of doing it sideways, and that's why I am not getting really accurate on my lines. So I should get the X-Acto knife out, but I'm afraid of them. I don't use mine very much. So again, I am off the fold a little bit. But I am just going to finish off that cut just to that fold line right there. Okay? So far we've got our piece of paper with 3 squares cut off here and 3 squares cut off here. We're going to turn it around and we're going to go up the middle. 3 squares up the middle. Let's see if I can do this sideways. Let me get over. Let me get over the camera or over the paper and see if I can get it accurate this time. Oops. And then of course I ran out of board. But yeah, so when I'm over it is when I am on the line. So I'm having difficulties doing it sideways. So I'm just going to cut up until that fold line again right there. Okay. Okay. So what am I? I'm afraid of X-Acto knives. I am. Oh, you're right, Kat. I could have done the mat at a diagonal to get a bigger, and I didn't think of that at the time. Thank you, Kat, for telling me that and then me ignoring chat altogether and doing it the bad way. So, anyway, we've got our little book all cut up here. Let me get these things out of the way. So what we have here is our first cuts. 3. Let me see if we're focused. Are we focused? Thank you. So what we have is 3 squares cut on either side and then 3 squares cut down the middle, which makes, if you kind of pull it apart, it makes an M. We're making an M. Okay. I must have been born knowing how to make little books. No, I love little books. So I was born to love little books, and I had to learn how to make them because I love them so much. So we have this M. All right, and then what we are going to do, oh, I am really getting hot today. Okay, more. We are going to start folding this one up. And this, of course, like I said, I've got it cut a little cattywampus, so it's not going to be exact. I'm going to start on this side, and since my fold is going up, naturally, I am just going to go up. And especially for this first fold, I want to make sure my corners meet. You can see the fold line. Can you see the fold line? You can see the fold line. You want to make sure your corners meet your corners. I don't know if you can see it way down there. And then use your bone folder and make sure that that is the crease that you've got. Don't mangle it like I just did. Then turn your paper over. And the next fold is you're actually bending in the opposite way that it wants to go. But again, you want these two corners to meet the next two corners. You see the fold line in the paper. Match up the fold line, match up the edges together. And then use your bone folder to crease it. Turn your paper over and then go up to the top, matching your corners, matching your edges. Make sure everything is where it's supposed to be, and then use your bone folder to crease that up real good. So we're going to go the opposite way. This is what you're looking at. And we're going to fold this one over this way. So I'm just going to move it down this way so it's easier for me to get to. And again, I'm going opposite the way the fold is in there that we put in there just a little bit ago. So I want to make sure that I've still got the same fold. I'm just bending it in the opposite direction. And I am lining up this corner and this corner and making sure my edges are straight against my other edges. And when I think that everything is where it's supposed to be, that's when I use the bone folder and give it a good crease. Okay? Now I'm going to fold it. I'm going to move it up this way. Here's my folds up so far. I do have to turn it around. You always want to make sure that the folded parts are underneath so that you can deal with the new fold without having all this stuff in your way. So put that underneath, and then we're going to go down that way. In case you don't want to get confused on which way you're trying to fold your book, it pretty much is what you're doing. You've got your M here. You're just following the M all the way around. That's all you're doing. So you won't get yourself all confused. You just follow how you're going around. All right? So I am going down the center M part, lining up my corners every single time before I put a good crease into the paper. And I just keep flipping it over for every new fold. And stay where you're supposed to stay until I get to the next sideways fold. And I've done a few of these, so I'm going a little bit faster. I'm going to go sideways and make sure my corners meet. And then I'm going to go down. It's more important for your corners to meet than it is for you to be on the exact fold. If that's off a little bit, you want to make sure your corners are meeting and then fold it down here wherever it decides to be folded. Okay, so I'm just going to continue on And with the little size, there's a little bit more folding and a little bit more fussiness to deal with. And it still is not perfect. Because I did cut it off just a little bit. And then down the home stretch. And I'm going to turn it over and use the bone folder on this side so I can get to it, because I've got a lot of folds here that I'm going through, and the bone folder's not getting through all those thicknesses to get to it. Let's see here. And then the last one, and even though I was off quite a bit, it still looks pretty close to where it needs to be. It looks like the pages are pretty close. That one's off a little bit. You can see it's a little wonky right there. You can see where I cut a chunk out of it right there. But they're pretty close. They're pretty close. Hi, Neener Beaner. Neener Beaner. So here we've got the 3-inch. Let's see if we can get something focused down here. We got the 3-inch, and it is kind of crazy, and it opens up in different ways, and you can do all kinds of fun stuff with this. This would be a fun sticker book or washi tape book, or both. Like my little sticker book. I have so many stickers and I don't know what to do with all of them, but it would be fun to make some little sticker scenes on some of these pages, some Zen doodles, some stamping. I kind of like the blankness of this one. Kind of gives you a blank book kind of look, and you can do anything. Add pictures, add family pictures to them, add anything you want. And this one, you can add, I got 2 covers that I did. You would glue the covers on. Like I said, I make my covers maybe a 1/16 of an inch bigger, maybe not quite that big, and then glue it onto the first page and clamp it down and let it set at least overnight. At least. But that's how I make my Meander books. And then you can fill them however you want to fill them. Okay, so do we have any questions on the Meander books? Was that easy? Was that too difficult? We can put upside down pictures in them and have a grand old time. Okay. So, no questions. I hope that will show you how to make your own Meander books. I hope that helps. All right, Miss Pearl. I can make all of yours. I can. I've got quite a few of them here. I have got quite a few to do things with. This one, I think I did on a video to show how to do this one with the with the collage on it first and then fold it, it's tough doing it that way. There's a lot of thicknesses to fold and to score and stuff, and it's a little more difficult. So I would suggest doing it this way first and then adding your collage bits and stuff like that. But so yeah, here's one with just some stamping. This one's ready for pictures or stickers or washi tape or whatever. Okay. Yes, I'm recording, so I am recording, yes. You'll be able to see this on YouTube, all right? So hopefully that makes some sense, and hopefully we'll see some new Meander books wandering around. All right, send me your stuff, Miss V.A. Pearl, and I'll send you back some Meander books. All right, so I'm going to stop this recording just so that we can go on to something different, and for those people looking for something different, they don't have to scroll through a whole video to get there. So I'm just going to start. It is a great gift idea. So for those people watching the recordings, my mat is off a little bit. Thanks for watching. I hope I didn't bump the camera. Did I bump the camera while I was up there? I was too busy trying not to cut my fingers off. Yeah, you can stencil and stamp first, and then you have a base of doing stuff. Here's one that was painted, stamped, stenciled, and just a whole bunch of stuff on it. And then I cut it up and folded it. If you want a colorful base to work with, that is one way to do it. And then you can add collage and pictures and stuff on top of that as well. So many different ways to do it. Many different ways. This one I think I stamped a little bit and then went ahead and made the book, and I have not added anything else to it yet, but I'm planning on doing some collage work in here and adding some stuff in this one. Okay, so I'm gonna stop the recording.